Okay, so this time we'll go through. I'll just show you where to get your images from, what sizes they've got to be, in language. I'll just leave it as it is, and you can look into that yourself. This init.py, it doesn't. Well, it does do something, but you won't notice anything now. All it is, say you want to create another folder. And you want to put some files in there, just so you can put different bits of code in. And you can import that, so your default's not ridiculously huge. And you can just have little bits of code coming from different places. But it won't recognise the import unless you put that in. This init.py, that just lets you know it initiates that folder as well as this, so you can import this other code, but I'll show you that in a bit more detail. Okay, anyway, for the pictures, it says on here, back on CodyWiki, the icon size must be 256 256. You can use 520 something, I think they use as well, as long as it's square and it's not too big or too much smaller, because then it's going to look a bit weird. That's why I use 256 or 256. And they recommend 1280 by 720. I've been using 1920 by 1080. That's what I've always used, and it looks alright. So either of them. It's just getting the ratio right, to be fair, so it's rectangle rather than a square like your 256. That's just how many pixels across and how many pixels down it is. So that'll be a square. You'll want to be the shape of your screen, basically. Okay, just go on Google 1920 by 1080 images. Go on images and take your pick. What should we have? We'll go for a nice beach. I wouldn't like to be on that beach. Nice little island, away from everything. And then if you open it, I've noticed if you just save it from right clicking there, it doesn't seem to save too well. Sometimes it comes out blurry, so if you go on here, open it up, wait for it to pixelate or whatever, and then go right click, save image as, and we want desktop for the minute. Cody tutorials in here, and we'll save it as background.jpg. It's got to be named that for it to recognise it, lowercase, as you notice. Okay, so that's your background, and then same again, 256 images. .png is better. I think the difference is from what I saw before, these white bits will just be blank, so they look a bit better. And we'll put on, I don't know, let's just go for the penguin, why not? So yeah, as you see here, it's check it in the background, so that means it's going to show nothing. Save image as, back on here, and there you go, here's a PNG image. If it's a JPEG image and you can just save it as icon.png and it will convert it on most devices, but I've had a problem before where it's become corrupt and even though it's saved, it's still saving the old image, so try to keep the right format as best you can, or use something to edit it into the right format. I think Windows Paint, you can open in Paint and then just go to Save As. Yeah, so if you open it in Paint, go to Save As, and then you're alright. Save, yes, replace it. So now we've got a penguin and a nice desert island. So he's a bit lost. So let's keep that back up. Keep that up. It's handy to refer to, just so you can see. Yeah, so now we've got the picture icon. We'll do the default last because that's the main bit. Other folder, we'll delete that for now. Resources, settings.xml. That's it. I'll leave it blank as well. You can add stuff off of Kodi Wiki, and it'll tell you in here. You add on settings. So there's loads of stuff. Can be a bit confusing. And this is what I was saying about language. See where it's put setting label. It was 32,033. When I first saw it, I thought it was a load of gibberish, but then realised it's referencing to, I think it was like 32,033 equals whatever in the language, and then they was doing that in different languages. So then it must know somehow where you're from or what language you're running when you're running it, and it'll display that in your language. But I'm never really bothered with it because I don't think I've ever made anything everyone around the world's going to use, so it's probably wasting my time. Okay, that's settings. Like I say, I'll leave that blank. You can look into that yourself, or I'll do another video on it another time because there's loads you can do with it, and it is handy. Okay, yeah, that's me thing. That's your init.py. I've just left that in there. Like I say, this is your language, English, strings. So there you go, string ID. And that's for your settings there. I'm guessing you can use it in other bits, possibly. I think that refers to it being in settings. If you put a name as 10,000 in settings, it will come up as custom music directory. So these are just some default ones for some music stuff. But like I say, you can either look into that, or I'll go into it in a bit more detail another time. And then we go back. So that's everything set out. It's all ready to go. Should install, no problem. But obviously you've got nothing in here. I've put some little bits in that I've always used, to be fair. These I haven't coded myself because they was there, quite simply. It's just basic commands, so I didn't see a problem in using them, and it's just saved me having to learn everything that's going on and how to set it up exactly, because, well, I was too short. So we've got one here. All this, like I say, I'll upload somewhere as a template, and you can download it, and so you'll be set up with this default like I've set up. So yeah, you got that, which is using URL lib2 to open URLs. So what we do as we go through, most of the things, if they're using, say, URL lib2.url open, that means it's using another load of code and then that part of it. So you need to import that code. So if you put, as we go through, we'll import it. 2. And you can do it with a comma, or you can have a big line of them, I think, because these are coming from the same sort of place as the Kodi default ones. You can import them all together. I'll just normally stick them, and then if I'm importing from that folder we made earlier, I can't remember the name of it, we'll just call it other folder, import, and that's when that in it would have come in. That'd tell it to import other file. You don't need to put .py, just put other file. So if you had another folder in here, new folder, and a file called, obviously it needs to be a path. So that'd import that, but you'd probably get an error coming up saying, I can't remember exactly what it says, but there's no such import. So just stick your init in it. Put your init in it, and then that should allow you to import that code. So yeah, I'll delete that for now. That was just an example to show you, because at first I wasn't quite sure what was going on and why it wouldn't import. Some of them, they told me that's why. So I thought I'd pass that information on. So yeah, URL lib2 for this one. Response.read, so I know it's before the dot, but it's referencing it there, so it's basically that bit of code, and then it's .read inside that, so and then it's that bit of code close. Okay, and that's for opening the URL. This is what will display in Kodi your menus, and all of these are, I mean, it probably could be simplified, but for now we'll leave it like that. So we've got def menu, which will open things as a menu, and def play, which will open things as play. The only difference being one is a folder, one isn't. And if you try to use menu on a play file, so if you try to open a play file, or you send a play URL or whatever to the player down here, with this one, when you try to close it, it will just open itself again, and it will just keep doing that until you basically crash Kodi or come out of it. So if you put his folder is false, that's one of the first things I had to work out, because it was all lovely, it was all looking good, lots of videos, but once you played one, you were sort of committed for life or closing Kodi. So just remember that. So anyways, we go through u equals, so that's just defining what URL is, what mode is, what name, and as you see up here, these are everything that you need to send into that for it to work. Yeah, so if you got name, URL, mode, like an image, fan art, description, if you haven't got one, just put that. I'll show you that a bit more later on, or in the next one. So yeah, let's go through. We've got URL lib, so we need to import that. XBMC GUI, let's import that. XBMC plugin, directory. So basically, it's telling you what everything is. OK equals true, and then it's telling it to list the items. Icon image equals default folder dot png. Thumbnail equals icon image. So I didn't write this, so not 100% because I haven't looked at the code it's pulling from to see what it's actually up to. But it's will open it anyway. And it works quite well. There is more elaborate ones I've put that have got, say if your icon image, put up there, if icon image is nothing, then icon image equals icon, or so if you don't put one in, at least it will show something. And the same with backgrounds. So that's M2. And the other imports, what's that one? Player method. So this is what gets to the core parts for the player. We'll get the player core. If it's that type of player method, then it will use that player or that type in the player. It's probably just slightly different bits of code to play different things. And then you got resolve, which is what you'll send it to play. There's longer ones, there's different ones, but this one's quite nice and short. It plays quite quickly. There's some URLs that won't play. I think they're ones that may need more than one connection to it, but that's for you to find out. I'll leave that bit for you, such as using the XBMC player, so we've got to import XBMC as well. Also, we'll put in re and sys and OS because they're around the imports to have. And these are the parameters. I think this sets everything out down here. But like I say, I'll just use these, and I think a lot of others do, to be fair. Or something similar. So yeah, that's it basically. Like I say, I'll leave this set up for you to use. Anyone's free to use it. One thing I will mention, sort of, is don't forget this bit down the bottom. This is what closes it. It tells it it's finished, because otherwise you'll install it and it will just keep opening blank folder. I've done it plenty of times. So yeah, just remember that. I think some add-ons I've used it in the end of each def, so it just knows it's finished. Just keep it cleaner, and it keeps going back through. So I might just stick that in there now, and we'll learn together and see what happens. If it errors in a bit, I'll sort it out and I'll take it out. Okay, so yeah, just going to stick these in. Another thing you'll learn, apart from syntax, it'll probably be your most common error, and this is a bit of a pain, is the indents. Unless it's after one of them, line it up with what's before is a common rule. You'll notice down the side here, you get different bits. Like you see here, you've got try, so they're indented for your tries, your defs, your ifs. Just make sure it's indented after. Obviously you've got except there, because otherwise you'll just end up with errors. You'll get used to it, and you just got to get around it. Another way is to open it in idle, highlight the section where the error is coming from, and there's a little. I'll show you. It'll be easier. Right, so save that and go to default.py. Edit with idle. You've got to have Python installed on your system for this, so go to python.org and get that. So edit with idle, and that bit, see where it's not level, just highlight that. I can't remember where it is because I haven't used it. There we go, format, on tabby file region I think. Put your spaces up for, oh no, tabby file region then. Your spaces up for, no. Stop you, it makes a lot of you. Format, indent region. Sorry about this. Well, it's not moving there. I don't know why. Oops. Just wanted to show it working, but so let's try that. You can get as much as you want. Set that a bit at the top. Pretty sure it's on tab before region. Yeah, it's not liking that for some reason. But anyway, you'll get used to that. Sorry about that. Wasted your time a bit. You'll get used to it. It's just all got to be a certain way for it to work properly. I'll stop here because it's dragging on a fair bit. And yeah, next time I'll show you about sticking some menus in there. Okay, see you next time.